Hello tarot lovers and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elizabeth and on this channel we talk about building your spiritual confidence so you can listen to your intuition and read your tarot cards with ease. And today we are going to be looking at a card a day journal and looking at my results for January. If you are not part of my challenge, head on over to Connect with Your Deck /challenge and join the challenge. It's free. We all work together and pull a tarot card a day for a different topic every month for the whole year. So if you want to get familiar with your tarot deck, you can use any tarot deck you like. If you want to learn the tarot, join my challenge. It's free. And I'm going to show you my journal pages for my monthly draws, how I interpret the cards, how I write my meanings, and how I learn the cards using my journal. Of course, you don't have to buy my journal to be part of the challenge, but it does help if you're a super busy person. Anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell so you never miss another one of my uploads. And I'm going to spin the camera around now and show you my card a day journal and talk about my month of January. So this is my journal, and I did a walkthrough of this journal back in, I think it was August last year, where I showed you all the insides of the journal and all the introduction, all of that stuff. So I will put a link in the description box, and I might even try and link it to the top of this video so that you can just click on it and go in and find it if you want to see the insides of the journal. But we are now at the beginning. My journal is a classic example of not starting at the beginning, because I've actually already done, if we go back, right back here, I've already done August. August was where I started. And in August, I played around with all sorts of ways. Here's September, all sorts of ways of doing the journal, and it kind of evolved. So those of you following through, you'll see some videos where I show you some different ways of recording your cards and things like that. So this is January, and you can see that I have listed all the cards that I pulled here, and I actually put them all aside so that I could find them if I wanted to talk to you about them with the Rider-Waite-Smith equivalent. And I tend to do that a lot. If you're learning the tarot and you really don't know where to start, your Rider-Waite-Smith deck is the very best deck to start with. And I'm just looking here to see if I've got one to show you. Here's a little one. Here's a tiny deck, and these are great if you want to put your deck in your handbag. And you want the one with the yellow box. It either has the Magician or the Fool on the front of the box. And it is basically the most traditional deck. Now, some people say, oh, but why would you want to use that deck? It's so old, it's this, it's that. Well, it has the best symbolism that I have come across in terms of understanding the history of the deck and the original meanings of the cards. Yes, there are some debatable aspects of the cards that you might decide you think should be different, but overall, it really is a good representation of the tarot and a good place to start. And most modern decks, of course, follow that system, including the deck that I used for this particular month for January, which is the Everyday Witch Tarot. And I have done a review of that deck, and it is up on my channel for you to see. So this is our January journal. Here you can see I've used the symbols which are in my journal for you to follow, and you can use my symbols or symbols that you make up for yourself, whatever it is that's helpful for you to remember. And these are fantastic if you're using a journal and you want to record a spread, because you just use all the symbols and you know exactly what cards you have drawn. Here, I've just followed along through. How you work out your percentages is you put down your numbers of cards, you divide by 31, because that's the number of days in the month, and then you multiply by 100 to get your percentage. Don't ask me why it works. I don't know. Other than that, that's how I do it. And then, of course, here are my repeating cards. When I fill out these sheets here, I literally look at the card down this side and myself and my environment down this side, and then I write about the card down the middle. So we've got the Hanged Man, which is this card here. Oh goodness. Now I've got the Hanged Man here from, no, that's Temperance. Just a minute. I know it's here because I put it in here. Here it is. I knew I was organised. So there's the Hanged Man, just to remind you of the card. And so we know the Hanged Man is a Major Arcana card. Now, all the Major Arcana cards have their own attributions in terms of the elements. However, for the Hanged Man, we're looking at, I always say spirit, because that's the general attribution that we give to all of the Major Arcana. Doesn't have an astrological attribution, but does have a planetary attribution, and the planetary attribution is Neptune. Please ignore that. That's been corrected in the cheat sheets. That's the wrong symbol. If we look down here, I've got some new sheets. Where are we? That I printed out. And you'll see there's the Neptune symbol there. So that has been corrected. And if yours hasn't been, please email me, let me know, and I will send you a new sheet. We've then got symbols that stand out for me. Now, I always use the Rider-Waite Smith. And here you can see I've put the Tree of Life, yellow shoes, and the red stockings that have stood out for me. The colours that have stood out for me, the orientation of the card, and of course, silly me hasn't ticked it. It should be upright. I always say upright. Some of you read reverse cards, and I have an allowance for that on this sheet. But I don't read them. And the reason I don't read them is because I don't think you have to. I think you end up getting yourself into such a complicated tiz that you don't need to read upside down cards. But that's up to you. Some people love it. The date, which is the 1st of January, the day, which is a Saturday, the season, which of course here in Melbourne is summer, hot day, and then there was no Sabbat for January. The moon phase is later on, and goodness, I think it was something like 23rd we had our moon phase. Where is it? Because I know we had a full moon, definitely, because there's always a full moon in every month. In fact, some months there's two. And I know I marked it down when it happened. If I can find it, I'll show you. I just circle it when it happens so I know. There we are. 18th. So there's the full moon. What star sign are we in? We are in Capricorn. So I circled the Capricorn sign. We've got how I felt. Now with the chakras, I've had questions about the chakras, and I haven't got my chakra intuition tarot and the chakras journal printed, but there is a journal in my Etsy shop that will explain the chakras to you and their attribution to the tarots. Now we know that the chakra system, which is it developed, one of its oldest places of developing was in India, in terms of Ayurveda and the flows within the body. But it is also, the chakra system is sort of across many, many different countries. However, we know the tarot is Italian, and French was the development of the tarot. So they both develop separately, but we can use the chakra system in alignment with the tarot cards to help us understand them more. But it's important to remember that they both evolve separately and are not part of each other. We're doing it in order to have a deeper understanding of the chakra system and a deeper understanding of the tarot cards as separate entities. So this is about thinking about when you were reading your card, where did you feel your energy? And then here I did the card number. Now the card number of the Hangman, as we know, is 12, which is 1 and 2, which reduces to 3, which is loosely interpreted is creativity and communication. And I've just written down here, spiritual wealth from blending 1 and 2, which is, I've just put little notes about the numerology, which I was reminding myself of as I went through the reading. How you use this is up to you. You might decide you want to put, I saw a feather today, the symbols you saw, your feelings, something you're grateful for. I was almost going to put gratefulness in there, and then I thought, no, I want to make this just a little spot that you can do a little bit of free study in. And again, you'll notice on these cheat sheets, there's not a lot of space and a lot of tick boxes because I'm trying to make it as easy for you as possible. If you want to know what all these attributions are, I have got my tarot symbolism cheat sheets in my, and of course I don't have any here beside me, do I? I've put them all away. But my tarot symbolism cheat sheets that are available in my Etsy shop, and they will give you all of the attributions for each one of the tarot cards. Writing down here down the center. So you put the topic, manifest your year. I couldn't fit it in, so I wrote your year. My biggest challenge this year was the question, and then today's notes. Now, when you are writing about your card, and I've had a lot of people write to me and say, I don't quite know what I should write. Like I pull the card, I look at the question and I go, what am I doing? What you're doing is you're blending. So think about the card as maybe being blue and the question being red, and when you blend them together, you make purple. So how I write is I say the 12, Hanged Man, is about taking time out to look at life from a different perspective. So that's the meaning that's come through to me right now. This year, I'm trying to work smart, not hard, in all aspects of my life. So that's my biggest challenge. So first of all, I've written what the card is about. Then I've written about my answer to the question, and then how am I going to blend them together? This card is suggesting slowing down and reflecting to find the best approach. See how I've taken the meaning, my answer to the question, and then blended them together to get a meaning from this card. So I hope that makes sense to you. So then I write down 3 keywords that make sense to me. Now I haven't transferred these in yet, but I'll show you what I mean. If we look at the Hanged Man, hopefully there's some, here we are. So I haven't transferred these in yet, these words, but the idea is that you start to get a list of words that are your own keyword list. So as you go through the whole 12 months, and you'll see there's some in here. I started last August, as you can see. I haven't pulled yet, which is, again, really interesting and really interesting data. So I'm just going through, this is a bit of an experiment to see if I can, well, I'm hoping I'm going to pull every single card by the time I finish, and I've got another 6 months to go yet, so hopefully I will, and I'll have some keywords for you, and I'm not sure, I might add these to the journal and make them available to anyone who's registered for my trainings. So make sure that you register for the challenge, connectwithyourdeck.com/challenge, so that you get any additions and bits and pieces that I do for the journal, because I did these new reading sheets and I went through and looked up everyone who had bought the journal, and there are just so many people, I just couldn't do it. So I'm just saying, look, you need to register for the challenge to make sure that you get those emails from me that give you any goodies that I have put together for for the journal. So then we go through and you can see I use a different pen depending upon which card I'm reading. So if it's Pentacles, I use green. If it's a Sword, I use orange because I use rub out pens. So I use these gorgeous things. Whoops. These gorgeous things because, and they're available in my Amazon shop. So I'll make sure there's a link there for you for those if you're interested in getting yourself a set, because you can rub out if you make a mistake. So we go all the way through and I answer all the questions and then I get to the end and we now have a new monthly summary sheet, which I started in December and should have all gone out to you. I might include it in the January email as well for those of you who are, again, on my who have joined the challenge, connectwithyourdeck.com/challenge. I will make sure that that is down in the description box for you so that any of you who've missed out, oh, I didn't circle January. How clever was I? So we've got the month here for January. So we circle that like that. And then so you know what assessment it is. I just put my percentages there so I can see. So we're looking at deeper contemplation here. See how so many major arcana cards have come up through the month. So I had 2 death cards. So if we pull these out. So I had 2 death cards. Where are we? Where are we? So these 2. I had 2 of the Fool. I hope this is helpful to you, me using both, because it's the only way I can think. Everybody has different decks, and if you're not familiar with the deck, it can be so confusing when you first start, when all the cards seem to be different, you know, and the interpretations can be different and that sort of thing. The Fool. I got 2 of those. Here she is, stepping off the cliff. I love these. I did a whole review of them using the Waite Smith. So, and then 3 of Wands, which is the card of you know, really contemplating your life and looking out. Here we are, 3 of Wands here. So I had 2 each of these cards. So you're looking at how does death relate to reliability and stability? And again, I haven't got up to the death card yet. I'm doing a whole series on my channel looking at the symbolism of each one of the cards. But how does death relate to reliability and stability? Well, of course, it's absolutely certain. It is certain that we will get to the end. And of course, we're looking at how you manage. I mean, the Waite Smith deck is a real commentary on how you manage looking death in the face and recognizing that it is your transition to the next stage. The Fool, unlimited possibilities. Well, this is about recognizing the unlimited possibilities of life, recognizing that life can change in a moment, having a positive attitude, leaving behind what you don't need, taking only what you do need, and stepping out into life and embracing it for all that it's worth. And then, of course, you've got 3 of Wands, which is, again, creativity and communication. And you're looking at this idea of what is it that you want to do with your life? What goals are you going to set? He's looking out. He's holding on to the wand he's aware of. There's the wand beside him, just beside him that he can just reach out and touch. And then there's the wand behind him that reminds him of all the things that he's not aware of yet. If we look at the 3 of Wands in the Everyday Witch Tarot, you can see here someone standing on the edge of a cliff, putting their energy out there, their creativity, thinking about what they want in the world and making it happen. So I looked at the repeating numbers, and I looked at those from the very beginning. If we look here, you can see all the numbers here that you've pulled for the month. And the numbers that seemed to repeat for me were creativity and communication, balance and stability, expansion and attainment for 9, and creativity and communication for 12. Why have I written reliability and stability there? You got to love it when you do these things. Obviously, there's a reason I've written those 2 words there, probably to do with the fact that that's what the death card represents, is that idea of death being certain. It's actually, as much as you feel unstable with death, it actually is a very stable, it's a card of stability and certainty. Things will change, particularly those aspects of life like death that we know are pretty certain. So 12 adds up to 3, which is creativity and communication. So looking at those numbers, and it's interesting that they're all multiples of 3. So that's really interesting in itself in terms of the repeating numbers in January. Blue sky, so meaningful symbols. Again, I go back through and I look at all the symbols I've written down and look for which ones repeat. And again, if you want to do all your workings out, you've got dot grid paper inside the journal that you can use to do all your workings out. I tend to do mine on a scrap piece of paper, but the dot grid pages are really helpful for that. So clarity of thought and action. Yellow sky is your daring, your energy, your enthusiasm. Grey sky is confusion and uncertainty. A red cape, so anyone wearing a red cape, is passion, energy, and that authority to take that emotional, energetic, passionate action. And water, of course, we know connects to cups and is emotion and the unconscious. So I then looked at keywords that repeated. And if you, again, look in here, you can see I've got all these keywords I've written down that relate back to the card and to how I'm feeling in terms of my environment and what I've written about the card. And these are the ones that repeated for me. And so what I like to do is write a keyword message using the keywords that repeated. So we've got to manifest your success, take time out for contemplation so you can create opportunities for freedom and adventure. So what is my overall message for the month? So this is about manifesting my year. I need to take time out to reflect so that I can really be clear about what I want for myself moving forward. I'm not good at taking time out and reflecting at all. And for me, I'm a real list maker. So I need to take time out to actually make some lists and record things, I think, so that I can look at things generally from a more whole perspective to know what I want for 2022. So what's my action? I need to make time for reflection and I need to think about what that looks like for me. All right, so that's the end of January. Again, there's no right or wrong answer. You don't have to use my sheets. You can use whatever you want to use for the challenge. The questions are freely available. I put them up on Instagram. They go up in our Facebook group. Our Facebook group is a great place for you to interact. But I know there's people sharing my challenge over in other Facebook groups and they're doing it over there and there's all sorts of great stuff going on. So I don't mind where you do it. It's a great way for you to learn the tarot and a great, I just ask if you're going to use my questions, it's great if you can acknowledge me. So my branding is Connect with Your Deck and my personal branding is at eRoebuck-Jones. So if you can acknowledge me, that's great. Next month is February. Our questions are for Valentine's Day. So we're looking at, what does love mean to me? When do I love too much? When do I conceal my love? We look down here, what types of love are toxic to me? How can I listen to my mind as well as my heart? What type of relationship is best for me? What is the most valuable lesson I've learned about love? Spirit, tell me one thing I need to know about love. And then an extra question for 29. How can I manifest my ideal partner? Which I don't think we're going to use this year. I'd have to have a look. But I don't think we have a leap year this year. If we do have a leap year, I'm going to need to check. I haven't even looked. If we do have a leap year, I've got leap year pages here for you with a 29 on there for you to use in this part of your journal. And of course, if it's a leap year, when we come to do our final year summary, we're going to need to use the leap year page, which will have 366 days instead of 365 in the year. So that'll be fun when I come to do that. But of course, we won't get to that until we get to the end of July. So we've got a fair way to go yet. And of course, my whole year has gone across 2 years, so I'll have to make a decision based on February, I guess, as to which pages I use. So that is it for January. I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, it's about you writing, getting to know the cards, writing and waxing lyrical about what you think. And as you'll see, I make mistakes and all that sort of thing all the way through. Doesn't matter. Main thing is that you keep going with your journaling so that you get really familiar with the cards. The benefit being to you, if you want to read a book about the tarot and they start talking about one of the cards like the Hanged Man, the Fool, or the Three of Wands, or whatever card it is, that you can picture it in your mind as you're reading, because it just makes it so much easier and more cohesive when you are doing a little bit of extra study. So that is it. I will see you in February. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.